Hello, friends. Thank you for joining me. My name's Joel. And this is the O2 Drop. You're listening to your favorite made for adults Pokemon VGC podcast, coming from Perth, the home of Mark.
Hello, I live here.
Dan.
Fuck the GC.
And Chris.
I am meant to be Ethan, but he flaked. So I got dragged here kicking and screaming.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Were you really kicking and screaming?
I mean,
Andrew probably was.
I just feel like Pokemon fatigue after GC weekend because it just ruins your mental health.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how we all did. I'll go first because I'm pretty sure I did the worst.
Okay.
I had an incredible GC. I started with a loss, and then I had a win,
Oh.
and then I had a loss,
Oh.
and then I had a win,
Oh.
and then I had 6 losses. So I did terribly. I used Chris's trademarked gay room team, which was a complete lie. It was
Gay room is a lie.
the gay room was terrible. I finished on 14-11. Because I was like, I'm going to try and get back to 1500 after I had my loss. I was like,
Yeah, classic blunder.
if I don't get back to 1500, I'm going to play 10 matches just to like have some content. And I wish I didn't because I was just not having a good time.
No.
I feel like I made the correct calls, but my opponents often made corrector calls.
You didn't make the correct calls. The correct call would have been not locking in for the GC in the first place.
I think you're right, and I think Matt Ando, shout out friend of the show, made the absolute right call by not signing up.
Yeah.
But I had a very interesting mix of Pokemon that I versed. My restricteds were 3 Groudon, 2 Calyrex Shadow, 1 Calyrex Ice, 1 Kyogre, 1 Miraidon, 1 Terapagos, and 1 Zamazenta. I had 5 Raging Bolts out of 10 matches, 4 Fluttermane, 3 Chien-Pao, 3 Incineroar, and 3 Urshifu Single Strike. So Urshifu Single Strike was like the most common Urshi for me. But
There was so much Urshi. And the fact that you couldn't tell which one it was until you were in the game was fucked up.
It's it was interesting. I feel like if I had have just run the Japanese Miraidon team or even the Luca 6, I would have had a lot more fun.
Probably.
Because I had several matches where like the lead was like they could click Trick Room to counter my Trick Room. So if I just Helping Hand Glacial, I might get like a cheeky KO here.
Or you just get a cheeky they set Trick Room for you.
Yeah, cheeky KO and they set Trick Room. Didn't happen once. I did it to a Chi-Yu Farigiraf lead, and I clicked Terra high horsepower.
Yeah, I did that. I had the same matchup, yeah.
And then I clicked I was going to click Trick Room, then I was like, I'll go back and like maybe if I do Glacial Lance because it was next to the Farigiraf, I was like, that'll like spread some damage and that'll be better and I can break Sash for the next turn. And then when I went back, I didn't click Terra Water again.
Oh, no.
So my Counter-X was left with like 17 HP for the match.
The fact that it still lived is just a testament to how bullshit Calyrex Ice Rider is.
Especially in front of like what was probably a max Chi-Yu.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like Mark's team.
I don't have Farigiraf.
And they didn't click Trick Room. so then I was slow and I wasn't going to survive another heat wave with the Indeedee that I led because the Indeedee took down to like 30% HP off that. So that was
Womp
womp. And I also had one game where I was versing a Flutter, and I think it was a Groudon. And I had my Calyrex and my Gallade, and it was the last turn of my Trick Room, and I was like, I can get a Trick Room set up here because like both of their Pokemon were in like KO range. So it's like they're both going to click Protect. Didn't happen. My Calyrex clicked Trick Room, then my Gallade clicked Trick Room, and then their Flutter Mane did Trick Room at the end of that. So that was the hardest read I've ever had somebody read against me. I think I was like at 1440 at that point, and they were like a 1546.
You know what would be so funny?
Huge gap.
It would be real funny if they didn't actually make any sort of read at all. They were just an idiot who weren't counting Trick Room teams, and they didn't realize it was ending, and they were just trying to turn it off.
Maybe. Maybe. It could have been that as well. And then I would just look like the bigger dickhead for playing into 3 Trick Rooms. But yes, very, very shitty GC. 1411 was my finishing. I haven't checked what my ranking was, but when I finished last night, I was like 9,800 something. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm outside of the top 10K.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was not a good time, but it's all right because friend of the show, Justin Tang, also didn't do well.
Oh, really? That's comforting.
And we love that for us newbies who aren't very good.
Yeah.
Someone on Twitter, Artie, who's at Wellspring Mask, put up, as much as I dislike the GC, is indicative of skill. A lot of players who are good at BO3s and have high placements like Wolf or Guardian, the Tangs, all have historically done well in these. And I guess that's why it hurts when you don't do well on them.
Yeah.
And then Justin retweets it with, I was embarrassed to post this, but it was too funny not to. And he has 41 games played at 1532. My man.
I've just seen he finished at 1548.
Okay, yeah.
So
that's still better than anyone in this room.
He got an extra win or two before the end.
Let's go, Justin.
Look,
he ran into Rapagos Dondozo.
He did.
With Smeagol, Iron Hands, and Flutter. What a cook team.
It's a bit rough for him though, because he's never played in like a closed team sheet era. He started 2 years ago, and it's only ever been open team sheet for him.
Yes.
And then like he's never went through like the closed team sheets, like meme strats that
he doesn't know what it was like.
Exactly.
You weren't there, man.
Can I just defend Gay Room, my team that you used? I think.
Sure, go ahead. I'll fact check.
I think. Yes, I did get paired up against Mark in the GC. We'll talk about that. I think the problem with the team is that there's so many different combinations of Pokemon you can bring, and like it's often like it's like a 50-50, like do you bring this 4 or this 4, and if you pick the wrong ones, like for example, you were talking about that Chi-Yu lead against you, like if you'd run Gallade and lead Gallade and just click Wide Guard, like you would have been fine because Cali Ice would not die from anything if it Terra Waters, and it won't die from overheat, and it's not going to die from a heat wave or whatever.
Yeah, or Dark Pulse or Snarl or whatever.
So
else they can run,
that I led that against Mark's Chi-Yu, like Gallade Ice Rider, I think. Something.
Yeah,
when it was
you led
NDD.
Smeagol Ice Rider.
But like,
and I led Chi-Yu, Calyrex Shadow, I'm pretty sure.
The team, I think I only clicked Hyperspace Hole on Smeagol like twice. I really wanted to start it because
you clicked Follow Me, you clicked
did it once on you.
Yeah.
The Hyperspace Hole animation is hilarious.
It is.
Yeah.
Smeagol just appears from like the side camera.
Smeagol appears and hits you because it's supposed to replace the Hooper.
I at one point,
it's ridiculous.
I had one game where I was versing a Cresselia Calyrex Shadow, and they were messing around with like Ally Switch, Nasty Plot, Protect, and Astral Barrage rotation. And I'm the one time I clicked Hyperspace Hole, I got it right, but the fucking Calyrex lived.
Oof.
And then it was like life due from the Calyrex. So even when I was getting things right, I was not having a good time.
To be honest, I probably bought Smeagol like 20% of the time, and I was clicking Decorate more than I was clicking Hyperspace because it's such a read.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to like play well and consistently. Because here's the thing. So I started on Friday or Saturday. I started Saturday morning, and I got hit all these Japanese players and went like, I think I played like 5 games, went 1-4 or something like that. I was like, okay, I need a break. I'm tilting. Then I went and played again, I think maybe late Saturday night, and I won like 5 in a row and got back. And I was like, okay, like now we're back.
Yeah, we're so back.
We're so back.
So bad.
And then I played again on Sunday morning and lost again, like, you know, I think I played up to like 15 games at that point, and I lost like more than I won. So I was in the 1400s. And then we've got a gentleman's bet, right?
We do.
And Dan at that stage was like, I'm only 1526. And like, I was about 1440 or something. I was like, this is achievable. I was like, if I play well, I started playing. So then I played 11 games in a row and I won like 9 of them.
Nice.
So I got to 15. And the thing is, like, every single time I got to like 15, 20 or something, where I was sort of 1 win below Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would lose 1 and then have to win the next 2 to like get back up again.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where I was like, to like the 3rd time I'd like managed to win back up to like 15. I was 15, 16 or something when I played, and then Mark, fucking clown boy or whatever, came up and I was like, oh, like anyone, I just wanted like one more win. Because it was like literally a case of like 1 more game and then I could just quit.
1 more game.
Because I knew that Dan was like, was still doing shit and was only like low 1500s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I win this, I'll get to like 1530. I can just stop and like enjoy the rest of my night.
If you had told me that,
Well,
you could just message and be like, if I win, I get the veto. And then we could have made like some arrangement about what you use it on.
true. Hydreigon?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would have scooped.
But then I lost.
I'm out here fixing the GC.
I lost to Mark because he had like fucking pollen puff. Like, you were like +1 or +2 by that stage, I think. I don't know. You destroyed, and you had helping hand +1 pollen puff with like on your Calyrex Shadow Rider on my Ice Rider.
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, well, fuck. Like, because I had Wide Guard.
Because you had Wide Guard, Gallade, and the Psychic Terrain was out, so I couldn't click
Expanding Force or Astral Barrage. So I was like, I got him. There's no single target move that'll kill me. Or was there? Who the fuck runs pollen? I don't even know I've got pollen puff.
Friend of the show, Brendan Robeson, put me onto that actually, because it hits dark types and it also hits the annoying psychic normal types. So Farigiraf and Indeedee, that resist Expanding Force and are immune to Astral Barrage. You can hit them for super effective. And in fact, Helping Hand Pollen Puff takes out most, or Chi-Yu Pollen Puff takes out most Farigiraf sets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
super handy.
I lost to Mark. So I got down to like 1502 or 1504 or something like that. And I was like, look, at this stage I was like, no, I just like, give me 2 more games. I'll win the next 2. Then I'll stop. Then I'll be, because I didn't really care at that point. I didn't know what Mark was on. I couldn't remember his number. I was like, I was just gunning for Dan's number.
Yeah.
I will say, I can't remember exactly where I was when I versed you, but I had the same experience as you. I got to 1526 and I knew Dan finished on 1529.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that person couldn't have given me like 4 extra fucking points from winning the game. No. And then I was like, all right, just win 1 more and I got this. I lost the next 3 and I gave up.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not playing this anymore.
After I lost to Mark, I was like, well, fuck my life. And then I lost the next 2 after that and then just rage quit and decided I was never going to play a GC again.
Yeah.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
There will not be a next
There
time.
will not be a next time. Because what was upset, like, I last night I blamed Dan and Mark for so you gave me like the number, the target, and then you beat me. So like both of you are at fault for my. But the thing is, like, I had spent so many hours on Sunday like climbing up from the 1400s. Like honestly, I ended up playing 30 games altogether.
Jesus,
which is a lot for me. I ended up playing more than like
single
20
day. Yeah, are you okay?
No. And
I'll give you a hug after the recording.
there was so many. I mean, in fairness, I didn't come across too many like full-on jank strats. Apart from there was a lot of Shadow Ball, Terra Ghost, Specs, Kali Shadow Rider with like Helping Hand.
What
like,
the fuck?
I
didn't run into one of those, thank God.
But I can't beat like single target moves from a Calyrex Shadow Rider that like, because like my Terras are all still going to take like a lot of damage from a Shadow Ball that's like Terra Ghost +1 Helping Hand.
Yeah.
With the Specs, like fuck, that wrecked me twice.
Brutal.
The funniest thing I saw was on Twitter. Actually, it was someone was up against Smegma, Smeagol Muck for those playing at home,
Oh, yeah.
and
Chinka Sienna in Japanese for those wondering.
Yeah.
What?
Chinka Sienna is dick cheese in Japanese.
how do you know that?
I had a Japanese exchange student friend at uni.
It's fucking Segoy.
Bark and Segoy.
But someone led Miraidon Iron Hands against Smegma. and they like faked out Volt Switch into the muck, but it protected, and then the Smeagol horn drilled the Miraidon and hit it.
What the fuck?
It was so good.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Like, if I lost to that, I'd be like, fair.
I'm done.
Once I retrieved my Switch from the other side of the room where I threw it to,
Tape it back together.
yeah, I'll be like, you know what, that's acceptable.
All right, how about you two? Obviously, you did better than me.
Fucking hell.
I think I finished about 1460.
Nice.
Fair enough. I finished 1477. My run, I did decide I wanted to record the thanks. Give me that as if you didn't finish the worst of all of
episode.
I did decide I wanted to record some of the info from my game, so I kind of recorded the restricted I came up against, including some of the techs that were on those teams. So I came up against, as I recorded, 2 Calyrex Ice Rider, 2 Calyrex Shadow Rider, 2 Kyogre, a Zamazenta, and a Terrapagos. And then after the 9th game, it just says, all work, no play makes Jack a dull boy 37 more times. So
in other words, you were done with recording after that.
I think I went slightly insane.
No TV and no beer. Make marks.
For this weekend, I wasn't sure how much of the GC I was actually going to play because I had a LAN party Saturday and Sunday.
What year is it?
2025 and we're doing fucking LAN parties.
Sounds amazing.
It was great. I packed my PC and my monitor and all my peripherals. I tried to pack them into my car.
The MX-5.
Yes. But the monitor was too big. It was too wide for the passenger seat and too tall for the boot. So I had to go get my work car from the end of the driveway and pack everything into that and then took it. And then we set up, we had a bunch of trestle tables and one of my mate's parents' living room.
Fuck yes, the trestle tables.
It was great. Yeah. We played Age of Empires and Halo and Quake and Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Nice.
It was, incredible. Very good time.
Like it was 2012 all over again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck, I love the Warcraft 3 LAN party days.
Yeah. I think that was on the list, but we didn't get to it. But I had a really good time, and then I came home and I decided to play some GC matches, and that good time went out the fucking window, and I just had a dreadful time of it. But my record so I played 8 games on Friday, and it was 3 wins and 5 losses. So I was not doing great, and I thought, I'm just going to play some GC. Why not? I've got some spare time. So I lost the next 2 matches, and I thought,
I'm done.
Fuck this, I'm done. But then I thought, you know what? No, fuck this. I'm better than this. I'm going to lock in. And then I won like the next 6 or 7 in a row. I did a Chris, right? And kind of like started climbing back up. And I saw Dan finish. Well, I got myself to 1502 because Dan had said, oh, don't worry, I'm actually sub 1500. I thought, okay, this will be good. And then Dan shared the screenshot saying he finished on 1529.
Yeah.
But okay, well, I at least have to do better than that. And then I spent the rest of the night fucking miserable.
We have very, very low standards in this podcast. Just get low 1500. That's all we need.
They still weren't achievable. One of the matches that gate kept me from making it above that was Incineroar Flare Blitz my Sash Whimsicott. And I think that Urshifu protected, and I would have been totally fine because Whims could have either encored or just Moonblasted the Urshi, or force him to switch out. The Flare Blitz got the burn on the Whimsicott, which meant it then died after Sash, and I wasn't able to recover from that. So that was fucked up. I did actually on Friday. I didn't keep doing this because it was so bad for my mental health. But I recorded some of the bullshit that I dealt with that made me lose. So I've got head smash miss, head smash miss, head smash miss,
Rock slide miss.
Minimum speed walking wake.
That's wild.
Heatwave miss. Calyrex Shadow Rider speed tie. Tinglu Dozo. That's it. That's the bullshit. Rock slide miss into a meteor beam power herb Terrapagos into Trick Room from their Whimsicott. And then I can't read the rest because it's just being stained by tears. So that was my GC experience.
That sounds incredible. It sounds relatable.
Yeah.
I got a discharge double para, full para against me.
Fucked up.
I can't even remember what was spamming discharge, but I think I ended up winning the game. In my defense, I actually think I played quite well.
Yeah.
Like, and the games that I lost, I was just like, there wasn't too much hacks. It was more just that they hard read me really well, or they got the double protect, or, because I got Trick Room up almost every single game.
Yeah, I also got Trick Room every single game, but
but sometimes it's just it spot like you need like one more turn, and then you end up with like Torkoal and like by itself outside of Trick Room, and it's like fuck,
I also had Trick Room up most games, which was concerning because I wasn't running a Trick Room. So that's just the bullshit I was dealing with. And you can never tell, especially when you got shit like fucking Whimsicott next to Terrapagos, and it's like, all right, they're going to be like Specs Terrapagos with Tailwind.
Yeah, there's no way you're thinking Trick Room. What the fuck?
I fucking hate Pelipper.
Indeedee next to Calyrex Ice Rider, and then Calyrex Ice Rider's fucking scarf crunch into your Calyrex Shadow Rider, and the Indeedee is like
expanding force,
like Specs expanding force, something nonsensical.
Pelipper Kogil's also bad, but Pelipper specifically, it's got wide guard.
Yeah.
It's got rain, which ruins the sun mode on my team.
Sure.
And it's got like 100% chance of confusing with Hurricane, apparently.
It does, yeah.
Fuck.
Especially on cart. Yeah.
Yes.
So what was your finishing score, Mark?
1477.
1477. Nice. We don't have Ethan's score.
No.
But we also, was Dan's 1529 what he finished on, or did he have more games after that?
That was it.
That was 45 games?
Yeah. And I posted,
imagine playing 45 games.
My watch had ended gif.
For 2 wins.
Brother.
For net 2 wins.
Pretty much.
That's crazy.
What does your wife do on like a weekend where like...
Oh no, this was like the rest of the games were just like watching TV. This was passive play, me just like swearing at my Switch in bed while we're watching movies.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So she doesn't mind like, oh babe, it's GC weekend. I'm sorry, no sex this weekend. I've got to like lock in.
No sex unless 1600s. No, my run was fucked. I didn't play any Saturday. And then it was 15 Friday, 0 Saturday, 30 Sunday, which is what you're meant to do apparently. But
that cannot be good for you.
It wasn't. I took some notes. Actually, I took recording of every Monoverse. 28 Urshifus was the most.
Oh my god.
Half Flame and Cornerstone Ogerpon were tied at 22.
Yep.
This is from 46 games of data as well, because I got an extra one from one of the Japanese people cheating.
You basically versed an Ogerpon in every single game.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Most common restricted was Shadow Rider at 18. 15 Bolts, 13 Rillers, 11 Whims, and a lot of Pelipers as well. And I want to give a dishonorable mention to the one Pelipper that hit Hurricane turn 1, got the confusion, and my Kali Eye proceeded to hit itself 3 turns in a row, and I lost the game.
Oh, no.
That's rough.
Other shit things that happened was a min speed Iron Ball Terra Ground Great Tusk that swept me in Trick Room because I didn't realize it would be slower. Losing a speed tie against a mid-speed Rillaboom with my min-speed Indeedee F, unless it had a fucking Iron Ball, so its grass terrain went first, and missing high horsepowers on Zacians.
Yeah.
So final score was 23-22, 15-29 finish. But yes, there was one DC.
That's a good
only
score for 23-22. 15-29.
Look, I'll take that.
It's about what you'd expect.
No. Plus 1 you would expect to be 15-16.
Yeah.
You don't get that much.
So
for a win.
he's accumulated. That means you must have lost to better players on average.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Any game Dan loses, he's losing to better players.
That's what I tell myself. But no, there was, like I said, 46 games of data because one DC'd at the opener. And then on Twitter, which I found from @Harry Pokemon, PKMN, apparently there's been a discussion amongst Japanese players of people intentionally forcing DCs at the beginning and the, I guess, match result not counting for anything.
So if they go into a match that's unfavorable for them effectively?
Yes.
To like dock so that they can play favorable matchups?
Yeah. So when I versed this person, they led Kyle Lemminghouse's Encore Shadow Rider that he brought to the latest major.
Yeah.
They led the Chienpao and Urshifu, and I guess I had a better matchup because they DC'd immediately and it didn't count for a win, didn't count for a loss. counted for nothing.
So they must be like, what are they leading? And then if it's bad, they're just like,
yeah, I don't know how
turn
they're
it
doing
off.
it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't count for a win for me. So
They must just be sitting next to the internet router, just like, no.
yeah, just net limiting or something. But yeah, at Nakahara54737 said that's been a lot of discussion this week, and that they're a real coward with an anonymous trainer name. So they're doing it under the radar. Yeah, that was me. I'm kind of sad that 1529 got the veto, but
Yeah, and take the win.
Take it up, yeah.
we need to do maybe a different thing next GC. Maybe it's like a scavenger hunt or something. Whoever can find the most of one Pokemon.
I like that idea.
Because
Yeah.
Soggy biscuit.
But congratulations must be given to Dan for winning the veto again.
3-time veto power.
I told you slacking will make it through.
Slacker's going to win just because he's getting vetoed. I'm just going to quickly provide some...
the scavenger hunt is
That
better.
is a
We should
good
do it
idea.
as a percentage, not total.
Yeah. Because I found a Tropius I thought was fun.
That's cool.
Also found out it learns Wyguard.
I did not know that.
I learned so many things. Why God, this
fucking Reggie
GC.
Gigas.
Do we want to just quickly provide context what the veto is for people who aren't regular listeners?
Yes, for people who are not regular listeners or subscribers of the bottom cut, the veto is a position of power to ensure that a Pokemon of your choice makes it through the Pokemon competition, which is a competition we've been doing for the last year.
Damn.
To determine the best Pokemon in Generation 9. All of that is conducted in our subscription content, The Bottom Cut. If that's something you're interested in hearing, of course, you can find a link to that on our Twitter, at the O2drop_VGC. There in our bio, you'll find a link to our Buzzsprout. And if you click that link, in the top right corner, you'll see a little button that says subscribe.
Speaking of fucking scavenger hunts.
And for only $3 American per month, you'll gain access to all of our bonus content, which at the moment sits over 40 hours and growing. You'll also gain access to our Discord and be able to take part in our online competitions that we do on Limitless.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see all the great memes that Dan shares daily.
Play Mafia with us and ruin your friendships.
Play Mafia.
that
See our cuck chair collection. It's growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to make an emote for the server, I think.
Of a chair.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like a special cut chair emote.
Is there a Jats Crackers emote?
We might have to do
I can do that
We
too.
might have to do a separate thread for cuck chairs now. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. So I think moving on from the worst thing in the world. that's
Moving on from the
GC.
worst thing in the world.
We got some
Let us
news.
know how you did though, because we're keen to know how shit we did compared
I
to
don't
our
want to
listeners.
know. Don't tell us. Fuck
Also,
you.
tying on from you're talking about dodgy Japanese people.
Yes.
I was going to say fuck you to Alistair because I did not record my usage this time because last time I did and he never even said thanks or acknowledged it. So I didn't record any usage this time.
I'm sorry, JD Vance.
Why am I JD Vance?
You should be thankful.
More
you should
grateful.
be thankful for what America did for
Should.
you.
Why did they keep photoshopping his face keeps getting fatter and fatter in every photo I see of him now. It's like he's got this moon head.
That's so
He did have a moon head when Trump first got elected, and he was very anti-Trump. But now he loves Trump.
So he doesn't have a moon head.
He does have a moon head.
Oh, is it like a thyroid problem or is it like actually?
I don't know. I think he's just like the kid that eats the gobstopper at Willy Wonka.
Someone recently told me that I look like JD Vance and I wanted to go kill myself.
Not even
Wow.
close. Wow, that's
But not close.
Thanks, Chris.
yeah,
He
sure.
finished up 1500. Don't kick him while he's doing it.
Yeah, but can we move on from that, please? For the love of God. We have news. We have Pokemon news.
Pokemon
like
news.
Something happened.
Pokemon Presents.
Two things happened. I mean, a lot of people said we didn't get that much out of the Pokemon Presents, and we maybe could have got more, but we got two big pieces of news. First one being Mega's confirmed returning.
Yes.
I think that was everyone was assuming because we were heading back to Kalos.
Yeah.
And the second big thing, Patrat is back.
Wait, were people assuming?
Well, that Megas were returning.
Yeah, because the end of the first trailer had the Mega symbol pop up on the screen.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So people was like, nah.
That's
maybe.
Haven't you been saying Megas in Paris
Exactly. I was like, yeah, they're confirmed from the first one.
Look, confirm, right?
All right, fair.
Did we actually see a mega in that trailer?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
We
Yeah.
didn't see any new ones.
No.
I was holding out to see like
That's right. We saw the returning. So there was like Altaria
They showed us
and
most of-
Lucario. And
Yeah.
Gardevoir, Gyarados.
Charizard,
Charizard,
Kangaskhan.
I think. In fact, I think we saw Mega Charizard in the Champions trailer, but
Yeah,
we'll talk about that in
yeah.
a sec.
So Pat Rat wasn't the second thing?
No, the Champions was the other thing. But yeah, but I mean, they've confirmed the starters for Z to A.
What are your thoughts on that, Mark? You happy with the selection?
Chikorita.
I think it's
Tepi.
weird that they picked two from the same gen.
I do as well.
I thought-
Okay, there's been a lot of people complaining about like, oh my God, why is there two Gen 2 starters? They've like broken the rules, blah, blah, blah. Like, there is no rules.
Yeah, they do what the
They
fuck
bring
they
it whatever the
want.
fuck they want.
Yeah.
And I think they are amazing picks. I think all three need some love, and I
Yeah,
can't wait
I
to
agree
see.
with that. Yeah,
And we're going to get the Colossian. Colossian? I
Do
wonder
we
what they're
think we're
going
going
to
to get Colossian forms? I think
Colossian.
we're not going to get any specific regional forms for them, but I think each one of them is going to get a Mega.
I agree.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think we will get Colossian forms and Mega.
Do you reckon the Mega will
Both.
be for the regular or the Colossian form then? Because I think that would be really fucky.
I think in game you will only be able to get the Kalos version of the starters.
Yeah.
And then their Mega will be that Kalos version. That's what I think is going to happen.
I don't think they'd do that. I think that's too
can't-
much.
I can't see them just giving you Meganium, Ember, and Feraligatr with no changes and then giving them a Mega as well. I
can.
I
Why not?
can't see that.
Yeah, why not?
I can see that.
I think that's what they're going to spend the most time on for this game is
I
like
see,
those redesigns.
I don't think so because, I mean, they can do redesigns in the Megas, right? But the whole thing is like when they went to Hisui for Legends Arceus, that the whole thing was like there's a bunch of regional variants because it's a different time, right?
Yeah.
This is set so soon after the events of X and Y, right? It's like 10 years after or something. I don't think they're suddenly going to have a bunch of regional variants for when they didn't exist 5-10 years prior.
That's not a terrible call.
I don't know if it's 5 or 10 years. I think
It's definitely
Really not
it's
that long
definitely
ago.
future.
AZ looks
but
a bit
it's-
older.
Daddy
Yeah.
Longlegs are still chilling, so
Yeah, being chilling. It's
I-
fun.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the stars, what we think is going to happen with them. Because first of all, it's been great to see so many Chikorita lovers come out of the woodwork.
all 5 of them, they're very happy.
No, there's been so many. They're mostly like, girlies. But and everyone's frothing because in the trailer, Chikorita used disarming voice, which it didn't get
Yeah.
before. So it's probably going to be fairy type. I think we can
Yeah.
defend that. Also, you know how we all complained about Leafeon, how the shiny was lazy and lame, and they should have gone autumn colors with the leaves and blah blah blah, right?
Yes.
Chikorita line did go autumn, and I think they've done really well. Shiny Chikorita and Shiny Bayleaf are autumn colors.
Oh yeah, Shiny Bayleaf is so good.
Yeah, unfortunately, Meganium doesn't have leaves; it has a big flower, but the flower goes orange.
Okay.
But I think Shiny Chikorita in particular, I think it's Bayleaf. Like the line looks really good. I'm excited to see them, and I'm really hoping Grass Fairy is underexplored. Whimsicott and the other one's the mushroom that's not even in the
Floette.
game.
No, not Floette. The Shanotic.
Shinodic, yeah. But I think,
Fuck, that's like a paralysis demon mon.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
so ugly.
If it could, I wanted to get something like rework Flower Gift or something like that and make it betterer.
I've seen a very interesting take on what the Megas / Colossian form could be.
Yeah.
And the theory comes from what the Mightiest Mark versions of these Pokemon has been. So Meganium came with Psychic.
We're talking
Terra?
about the Terras, yeah.
The Terras, yeah. So it was Meganium was Psychic Terra. So potentially Grass Psychic. Ember came with a Electric Terra. So potentially Fire Electric.
Fast Pig.
Fast Pig.
Maybe it loses its fat.
It would be cool.
Gets the
That would
Pikachu
be
treatment.
sick.
And then Feraligatr came with a Dark Terra. So potentially Water Dark.
We don't need more Water Dark Megas.
We really don't.
Water Dragon
But-
would be sick.
I think
Yeah.
Water Dragon.
Water Dragon, and I think Ember will have like a suit of armor, like with its instead of like the whatever kind of thing it's wearing now. It goes like
Yeah.
It's kind of based
Fire
on a
sti-
wrestler.
Fire
I
Steel.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of wrestler design. I've kind of come up with some ideas for what I think the Megas might be for each of them. So Mega Ember, I don't think they'll change its type. I think they'll just leave it as a firefighting type.
Really?
Yeah. I've suggested a couple of abilities I might give it, including Anger Point. I think could be a bit thematic. Sheer Force.
Unseen Fist.
Unseen Fist would be very funny. I've considered Iron Fist.
Oh, okay.
And Defiant.
Like it.
And then I thought, you know what? It's Game Freak.
Defiant Ember would be cool.
That would be sick. Yeah. Okay, it's Game Freak. I could see them giving us Guts Mega Ember, which would be really bad. Because not only can you not burn it because it's a fire type, you also couldn't. It's holding a Mega Stone, so you couldn't even give it a Toxical.
Surely not.
So I think that I could see them doing that.
Yeah, watch them make it competitive though, not Defiant.
Give it the reverse Napoleon treatment.
Flip it to bloody special.
Make it a special attacker when it Mega Evolves. That would be funny because it's just. I mean, it's useless when it doesn't Mega Evolve. For Mega for Alligator, I reckon Water Dragon. I think that would be sick. I could see them potentially giving it Swift Swim, Adaptability, and Strong Jaw.
I like Strong Jaw. They already did what Swift Swim is Swampert, right?
They did. That is true. Yeah.
Surely they won't double up and steal ideas.
Maybe no. I mean, there's two with Mold Breaker, I believe. Mega Ampharos gets Mold Breaker, and
does it?
Yes. Is Mega Gyarados the other one that gets Mold Breaker?
Yes, it is. You're right.
Yeah. So they could definitely double up. There is precedent. Mega Meganium I thought would be really cool. Grass Fairy, and then with a bit more of a supporty set, with Friend Guard or Serene Grace, or potentially what I thought would be sick was if they give it Triage.
That would be sick.
Triage would be sick.
That'd be busted.
That would, the fucking big Giga Drains.
Yeah, priority Giga Drain.
Do fucking
Giga
What
Drain.
Triage is a
make
plus
it
2?
relevant. +3.
+3, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's the same as Fake
Fake
Out.
this out, slut.
And then what about could be like, it could go offensive and be like Solar Power.
Solar Power is not a bad one. I didn't think of that. I did consider competitive.
Yeah, I just think competitive is good, but like we've got decent competitive ones now that don't get any use whatsoever.
That's true.
So like I think I'd love to see a meta game where
Are they competitive? Are they good mons though, or are they a little bit shit?
well, I mean, you've got like the Articuno and the
but
Melodic.
Galarian
and
Articuno
Empoleon.
sucks. Empoleon sucks. Melodic's fine.
But do you think giving competitive to
Kilowattrel.
Meganium would make it not suck?
It depends on its
I
mega
want
stats.
it to not suck. I want it to be competitively relevant. So I think it needs to be an OP ability because you're running like the base Megadium's got pretty trash stats and Mono Grass ain't doing much. Like it's got to be Grass Fairy. It's going to have a quad weakness. I think.
Oh, to poison.
Sorry,
yeah.
to poison. Yes. So, and you don't really gain much other resistances. Like, I just think you can resist. I guess you're neutral to bug now.
But like you get a few resistances with Fairy, but
I just.
yeah, I mean,
I think it needs to be an OP ability to be relevant at all.
maybe. I think it really depends on because Mega gives you an extra 100 base stat total.
Yes.
Yeah, they get to like 700 or something, don't they?
I think so.
It depends on I think becoming a Mega gets you an extra 100 base stats.
It does.
They get allocated.
It does. And I don't know, because you look at Meganium, and off the top of my head, it's got 100 special defense, 100 defense, and the rest of them are all like exactly 80 or something. It's like pretty much 80 apart from the two.
Do you want me to fact check for you?
Okay, Peter 2.0. Sure.
I Peter.
But it's like, where do you give 100 stat points where that would be actually still relevant? You'd have to go like 80 in one of the offensive stats and the rest in HP. And that would probably maybe be...
Yeah,
maybe
100 defense, 100 special defense, and then 80 odds for everything
I
else.
like the idea that they shed its defenses when it megas and it just gets that in speed and special attack. Like it's bulky until it megas and then it's like, yeah.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but there's not going to be abilities in ZA like Legends Arceus.
Yeah, but when
Is
it goes...
that confirmed?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when we...
Fuck!
Yeah,
when we transfer them through home to champions...
Yeah, I was going to say, surely
when
we
were
will end
abilities
up
not-
with...
They weren't in Hisui.
Oh, weren't they?
Nah. And they've confirmed that they won't be in
They weren't
ZA.
Oh,
There
there was
wasn't
like
held
a,
items
there was like
either.
a grit thing or something, wasn't it? Is that what it
Something, I don't know.
You
They
could,
just didn't
like,
have abilities back then.
could like accumulate
I will say, I've got
stat
to
points?
out
So like you
myself
can
a little
like
bit
I guess
here.
theorize now, but like we won't see them for even longer when they become home compatible and then whatever game they go into.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to out myself a little here. I never played Legends Arceus.
Really?
So, yeah, I
Neither
never
did I.
I'll probably play Z2A. It looks good.
I'm a sucker for megas. I'm definitely going to play
I
it.
like they revealed the battling in game where you control the Pokemon. Dodging moves is literally going to be a skill issue.
Yeah. And I
The
think
fact that you can like run around.
Just dodge the heat wave forehead, except literally. Just dodge it.
when you click an attack, it doesn't just happen straight away. The Pokemon has to like do like a little warm up animation.
There's a charge up, yeah.
So I'm thinking like, does the speed stat mean like they're going to act faster?
Oh, maybe.
So that's, I don't know.
Or maybe they'd move faster around.
What I don't like about those.
Maybe Pokemon with low defenses have a bigger hitbox.
This is in general true.
The one thing that about Legends style battling, and this totally makes sense if you think about like how it would work in real life. I get why this happens, but I fucking hate it because I'm bad. But like you take damage if you get hit by one of the Pokemon's attacks. So you could be walking around, and if you walk into like a stealth rock, or you get like, because there's like a blast radius for each attack.
Yeah.
You can get hit by it, and you can actually take damage.
Yeah.
Which annoys me because it should happen like that way in real life, but like. I'm
It's
not good enough.
frustrating,
I don't
yeah.
like to be evading while trying to think about what to do, and also guide the other opponent's attack into the other Pokemon that's dodging it. And like, it's a lot to.
Me on my morning commute through
Kalos.
Yeah, Kalos. And I
Lumois.
just walk into Lumois City and then just immediately walk into some fucking stealth rocks.
Fuck. Not again.
Sorry, boss.
Me
4
taking-
times a week.
Taking my pet Volcarona for a walk through Lumois and it just fucking dies.
Steps on a pebble on the footpath, dies.
One thing about the battles that they showed us that really fucking irked me, and I think again this is just lazy Game Freak stuff.
Yeah.
The Onyx that was in that battle was like the size of an Ekans. It was
small.
It was like smaller than a human.
Do you know you're a size
So
queen?
they're not doing it. They're not doing what is it? Shiny pearl, brilliant.
But like
Whatever it is.
Pokemon have actual sizes. You look at the Pokedex entries; they've got height and weight and all that shit. Like, and go to like Pokemon Snap, the new Pokemon Snap on Switch, and you see these giant Onyxes diving out of the desert dunes in that sand place in in Snap.
It's called Arrakis.
Arrakis, yeah. It's called June. In June, you see the Onyxes come out of the sand, and they're like, they're like 30 meters long. They're fucking huge. And then you go to like this game, and it's the same Pokemon, and it's like, oh, look, a small worm made out of rock.
What do you think about the Pokemon internment camps that they're doing in Lumois City in the future?
What now?
I've seen a thing on Twitter because there's like wild zones or whatever they're calling them.
Oh, right.
But because they're all like fenced off and whatever, people have been
In
like,
cities,
they're Pokemon internment camps.
Fascist city with their
Fascist city.
anti-homeless benches they've installed as well.
That was wild.
Yeah, that's right.
The one
the
picture,
hostile architecture.
the one picture of a bench, and it's a don't sleep here
It's got
bench.
the anti-homeless rails, yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
The little camps reminds me of District 9.
Yeah.
The movie that's
yeah,
alien
yeah.
movie in South
That's
Africa.
such a good movie.
It
With
is.
the prawns.
Fucking prawns.
I think they're making a sequel.
They've been saying that for
That's
like
for
20 years.
District 10?
District 9.0, 9.2.
They definitely hinted at the end of the movie that like another one was coming, but I don't think it's happening at this
I
point.
kind of hope they don't. I think the first one was a complete movie.
It was good, like self-contained.
Yeah.
Did you watch Chappie? It was the same
Yeah.
people. That was good.
Yeah.
I
Was it?
enjoyed
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Chappie's really good. Yeah, it's like a robot that has like the intelligence of a kid.
Yeah,
And
I've
it
seen
get-
trailers.
Yeah, it gets in with the bad crowd.
Okay.
Do recommend District 9 and Chappie to our listeners.
Yeah,
little
District 9's
tangent.
really good.
One thing I love about the starters is there was a meme going around that due to the Typhlosion allegations,
Oh,
that
yeah,
they
yeah.
like errated Gen 2 starters and like, oh, look at the Gen 2 and they've just like crossed out Cyndaquil and put a Tepig there.
Yeah.
And these were always the Gen 2 starters.
Fucking Typhlosion got me too.
I've seen one that because everyone predicted Piplup would be there because of like that set that came out.
Oh, the TCG
Yeah.
set.
I
I'm
heard
so glad that turned out to be
Snivy.
bullshit because I thought that was such a long bow to draw.
And then there's like there's like a I don't know what they're called. It's not like a soy jack, but it's in that thing where it's
Oh,
like
yeah, the one I shared.
yeah, where it's like Piplup on a hospital bed and like Snivy and Feraligatr like,
Oh, yeah.
fuck you, Piplup. So good.
There was some hidden details in the presents as well. Did you see Skrelp was in the party? Skrelp returning?
Oh, that's
It's,
cool.
it's in the game now.
Dragalge?
Yeah, I
in
was
the
going
game
to say,
now.
it is currently in the game.
Yeah, but you know, it's confirmed and said, hey, whoa. Cute.
Cat, rat, and squirrel.
I know.
Mega Dragalge, let's fucking go.
That would be
Sick.
Just
And
make it slower.
we can catch mons we faint. That was
Really?
something in the presents.
You get a slight. There's a window. You can't like guarantee catch it.
but like we've
There's a
never
window.
had that before.
Yes, true. That shiny that you
Except in
accidentally kill.
like, you know, raids and stuff like that.
Yeah, true. That doesn't count.
So tell me I can knock a fucking wild Pokemon out and still catch
Yeah,
it.
you can run up to it,
Perfection.
beat it in its fucking head, and then throw a ball at it.
How
while
it
it's
rock
should
it
be,
and
because
then
that's
a
going
ball
to
at
be
it.
easiest to catch it.
Dink. Done.
God knows how many memes I've seen ever since like 2008, right? Of like people playing Pokemon as like knock the Pokemon out and is lying there unconscious, and the trainer's like, oh, gee, I can't catch it now. It's
because they evaporate. You don't have time.
yeah, exactly. So do you guys have any other thoughts about potential theories or anything about
Yes.
ZA?
In the trailer, you saw a Zygarde 10% on like a roof
You did,
overlooking
yes.
the city.
And you saw a Zygarde
And you saw a
cell.
Zygarde cell like crawling. First of all, fuck that. It's going to have to collect 100 Zygarde cells again. Like no one wants that.
Why did it have a blinking
But-
butthole on the dog?
Did it blink?
yeah. They're like somebody had to animate
Yeah.
the blinking butthole.
Why did it blink?
I don't know.
Maybe he farted. Anyway, Zygarde theory. All right, this is a fan theory that Zygarde is your Pokemon that you use to like get around, the ride Pokemon. So
Okay.
the 10% form, you like
You can
ride on
Yeah.
it. The 50% form, or the kind of the snake one,
Yeah, you
is
can
the
climb.
climbing up walls or swimming. And then the complete form is the flying version.
That'd be cool.
That'd be super cool.
Or unless there could be more forms introduced. I think there will be. We've talked about 69% form. But
Hell yeah.
Bottoms on command.
Hell yeah.
it's got like a cinched waist and it's got like Zygarde high heels on.
Smash.
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, exactly.
Zygarde Jessica
Hell yeah.
I'm not bad. I was just formed that way.
But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting theory.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
I hope they do more with it. I love shiny Zygarde.
It's so
The
good.
white is really aesthetic.
Oh, the Megazord.
Yes.
Like, oh.
Yeah, we'll finally get. Hang on. Yveltal and Xerneas, do they have mega forms?
No, not
No.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, not yet.
We've already predicted that Yveltal's going to have a unicycle.
That's right. Unicycle and then the deer cut off at the
It can
chest.
bipedal and it's
Bipedal,
making loose of his
dude.
arms.
It's going to look like a fucked up Calyrex, and I never thought I'd say that because Calyrex already looks fucked up.
It's going to be Slender Man and a bacon bird on a bike.
Surely with like 100% Zygarde, they just give it a shield and a railgun and just make it a Gundam.
That'd be fantastic.
Hell yeah.
I hope they do fusions again. That'd be sick. I like the DNA splicing stuff.
They'll
Or
like,
Yeah.
if they fuse Xerneas and Yveltal, we'll make a dark fairy type
Oh.
Gross.
with
Grim
the
Snow
aura
on
that boosts
steroids.
both.
Oh.
Gross. But cool.
Hell yeah. And it still gets Geomancy.
Geomancy Oblivion Wing. Holy shit.
It still gets Geomancy, but it's got to hold a special item to be fused, which means you can't power herb it.
Fuck.
but it just sits there and tanks everything anyway because
Yeah.
it's like got 800 BST.
Do we want to talk about the other piece of Pokemon news that's very relevant to competitive play, potentially?
Yeah, but how relevant is to be determined.
We'll
so
see.
the other bit of new IP that was announced was Pokemon Champions. Pokemon Champions looks like it's going to be a battling game of some form, whether it's duos or singles or whatever. And it looks very VGC related. In the trailer, we saw a Mega Charizard versus a Terra Water Dondozo.
Megazord X.
Megazord X,
specifically.
Yes. Fuck Megazord Y.
The beta of the Mega Evolutions.
Yeah. I don't care that it was way stronger competitively.
It so was.
And then
It's
on
like massive base jets and it sets its own sun. That's
I
fucked
know.
up.
and we saw in a little graphic that Champions is going to communicate with Home
Yeah.
in some
Yes.
way.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of speculation that it's just going to be this will be VGC from now on.
That is the going theory at the moment.
This will be how VGC happens. They'll make us pay like a subscription fee, and this is how they'll finally get recurring income out of VGC players.
That was my theory. They'll make it live service so they can, they've always whinged that we can't make money off VGC. It's losing money. Hey, this is now a monthly subscription. So
And I'm kind of fine with that.
Yeah.
What I'm very concerned about is microtransactions.
Yeah.
I'm very worried about that.
I saw an amazing post on Twitter that was
about paying $15 to show up with a Dondozo wearing clown makeup and a wig.
Imagine losing to this motherfucker who's paid for an outfit for his Dondozo.
That would be so funny.
Here's the thing. I don't mind microtransactions if it's purely cosmetic. And I said that about basically all games, right? Like, that's fine. Flex your money by I play this game a lot. I'm going to spend a bunch of money on it so that people can see that I spend a bunch of money on it. Cool. I'm down with that. I do that for some games. But I think if it's going to be like Pokemon Go, where outside of grinding, it's either grind or spend money in order to be able to progress the game. We don't know what EVs and IVs and stuff like that are going to be like in Champions. Are we going to be able to transfer fully created Pokemon from home into Champions and have them be fine in Champions?
Yeah.
Or are they going to transfer over and have all the EVs reset and everything reset, and we're going to need to actively change them? Will they have vitamins or feathers or other things in Champions that we can use to adjust their stats?
And how do we get those?
How do we get them?
Yeah.
Do we have to grind for them? Do we have to microtransact for them? This is wishful thinking and a half, right? I would love it if we can just showdown change them, right? Like, I would love it if you can just go in, fiddle with the stats, change it, do a few battles, be like, actually, I want to make this faster because I'm getting crapped by this other mon. I can't imagine they'd do sliders.
Squiggly bars in showdown.
I was watching the video of friend of the show, Moxie Boosted, who was saying they'd do they'd have feathers or something.
Yeah.
And you can kind of choose how many to use. And then potentially there'll be clear start mochi or whatever.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of like thematic in-game ways to do it. But I would love it so much. Don't let me down, Game Freak, for fuck's sake. I would love it so much if there's just, infinite resources and it really is just kind of battle sim where you don't have to bother with grinding to make your Pokemon. And we have theorized about something like this being introduced in future games. We have theorized about, because they've introduced bottle caps and mints and other things. We've theorized about there being some way to either perform a task or pay in-game currency to create a Pokemon with the specific specs that you need in terms of stats, abilities, moves, everything.
Yeah.
So I would love it if that's something we're able to do in Champions.
Yeah.
I am very worried because, like you said, the biggest pay-to-win Pokemon IP, I think, is Unite.
Yeah.
With those held items, to get them to max, it's a lot of time or it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right,
And if they do that for feathers, it's going to be a worry.
Yeah.
And Pokemon Go, I think, is at the moment the highest earner for Game Freak. I think it's even surpassing their merch sales.
Pokemon Pocket,
which is insane.
Pokemon Pocket was making more on release. I don't know if it's still making more.
Yeah, and that's the issue, right? It's and especially considering Champions is being released to mobile.
Yeah.
Have they learned we make a shit ton of money from microtransactions? Is VGC going to become pay to win to some extent?
Yeah. I will refer to friend of the show, Andy LaVGC's video. Where he made the comment, firstly, they're never going to let official competition be done on mobiles because you're playing it on your mobile and suddenly you get a text about what your opponent's locked in.
Hey, bro, he's clicking this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough, actually, because Pogo, I know at locals you can use your own phone, right? But at regionals and stuff of Pokemon Go, they supply a phone, don't they? Okay,
and there is never enough phones for everyone to be playing at once at these big tournaments. At Perth regionals, everyone could play the round at once because we had 20 phones and 40 people. It was spot on.
Is this why they do a double elim?
Yeah.
Okay. But what if you had a phone call? You're on call at work and
that's the point is you don't use your own phone.
Yeah.
And the other point that Andy raised in his video is that he feels like the most likely thing is that this is the VGC version of TCG Pocket. It's an
You reckon
experience
simplified?
of VGC, but it's not VGC.
Okay.
I see where he's coming from, but I don't think so, purely because TCG can be fully free to play. You need Nintendo Online to play Champions, which they've also confirmed.
Oh, really?
You don't need that for any other kind of free thing at the moment.
You need to know online so you can connect to home.
The other thing as well is
Exactly,
I think TCG Pocket's a bit different because TCG Pocket was introducing a game that's already heavily monetized to the casuals.
Yeah.
Whereas like, sure, I could see, maybe they want to introduce more casuals to VGC, but at the moment they don't have incentive to do that.
Yeah.
Because VGC is not a money spinner. There's a reason that when we go to events and everything, TCG, when you rock up to events, regionals and internationals and whatnot, all the merch you get is for TCG stuff.
Yeah.
Because they want to encourage people to buy the really fucking expensive cardboard.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Which fucking worked annoyingly. I've spent a bunch of money on the shiny cardboard. But,
that's okay. I'm currently working on a $2,000 deal for shiny cardboard, so yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck it out.
but I agree with Dan. I think they're using this as a way to monetize VGC, which again, I do not mind to some extent. I would pay a monthly
$10 a month.
I'd pay $10 a month or whatever to, compete.
$9.99 to make it feel good.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you in marketing as well?
If they're going to monetize it, they should increase the pricing for VGC then.
Yes.
TCG.
That was the point I was getting to, right? It's like, I don't mind them because if they have incentive for people competing in VGC, if they start making a lot of money off VGC, they can then start to really focus on competitive. Maybe we get our internet's back. Huge fucking reach. But, it's like, theoretically, I've said since I've started competing in VGC, since... they've done all these things, is when you look at things like League of Legends, they put so much effort into the competitive scene. The winners get such insane amounts of money. And that's because they make so much money off the competitive scene. They sell these skins. People love the competitive scene. It gets them into the game.
Why
and then when they're in the game,
such a prize pool.
Exactly. Same deal. And so if TPCI start making money off VGC, if they start making real money off people playing VGC, that incentivizes them to really boost the competitive scene, because the more people they get
if they
watching
create one thing that they can just update forever as well, then it's like a huge.
Well, that's the other
money
thing as
swing
well.
for
Is
them.
that's the theory that people have, is Champions is just gonna get updates, and people have talked about patches and balance changes.
Yeah,
I don't think that'll be a thing. I can't see them ever bothering
once a season. They definitely
once a
could.
generation.
Oh yeah, once a generation, 100%. They make like balance changes between games. That I can see, and that I kind of think is fine. But I've seen some people theorizing that, like,
ongoing changes like they do for like
Calyrex Ice Rider
It's
keeps
possible.
is so prevalent. We're gonna decrease 20 of each of its base
that won't
defenses.
happen. It's not League of Legends patch notes. Like,
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some people theorize that that's what it's going to be.
No way.
I don't think it's going to be like that.
Yeah.
Pokemon would not do that.
No.
They already, like, there's precedent, right? They don't balance TCG. There's no ban lists or anything for
There
TCG.
is.
Well,
For
technically.
expanded, not for standard.
there has been banned cards for standard in the
Yes.
past.
But that's
It's
Sunshine
just
trump card.
currently it is balanced.
that's only in extreme situations,
Yeah.
though. Whereas,
like
you
with
look
the
at, like,
Misty
fucking...
Nude card.
Yeah. When you look at, like, Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah.
That has consistent updating ban and restricted lists.
Pot agreed.
Yeah. Currently on the ban list. Then Magic the Gathering
summoned
is very
Pot of
similar.
Greed.
You don't summon Pot of Greed, dickhead.
He's a noob.
I know, but that's the meme.
Why don't you meme these
Activated my
nuts?
trap card.
Pot of greed.
Can I say how I think the resources in... So,
Absolutely not.
so I'm guessing that you
Well,
probably...
thanks for joining us today, friends.
I don't think you can probably catch Pokemon in Champions. You probably can get rental ones, and then if you want to use your own, you transfer them from home.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's probably just a battle thing.
The graphic, though, it didn't imply sending. It just implied communicating.
And also there's like, you know how in Pokemon Go, you can send Pokemon from Go to home, but you can't send them back to Go.
yes.
So there's because it says like there's connectivity there, but it didn't specify which way and whether you could go back to your regular games after you traded it to Champions, which is a bit scary. Also, for the way everyone's like frothing about how good the battle footage looked. If you look at in the actual trailer, it says like this is not final game footage.
Yeah.
They've just probably made like a like a cartoon, like, movie or whatever of Dondozo versus Mega Charizard.
100%.
I don't
That's
think
true,
I don't think
yeah.
it's gonna look that good.
They had
And
the trainers next to the Pokemon. How did anyone think that was the proper gameplay?
and then also it's like it's in development. People who think we're going to get this dropped after Worlds and we're going to just suddenly
way.
go on like
yeah. Some people are saying like, oh, this is going to be VGC 26.
no, it's going to be VGC 2030.
VGC 26 100% is going to be Scavvy.
Yeah, there'll be a fourth year of Scavvy with like what they did, more meme formats that they did with Scarlet Violet during lockdowns, where like we're going to ban the top 10, we're going to give you mythicals. Sorry, Sword and Shield. But with
Fuck, we are going to get a mythical fucking. Yeah. But I do think it's really funny. It's like this isn't how actual gameplay looks. What actual gameplay looks is just going to be Showdown on Switch.
2D sprites.
You finally be able to like drop a slur on your opponent in Pokemon.
Finally,
just trying to use the Switch keyboard using the joysticks. It's like,
you know how? So this is how I think. I'm predicting it's going to work. So I think there'll be microtransactions, but there will be in Champions, there will be like a battle tower like facility that you grind.
Yeah.
Like sort of like Mortal Kombat style through like a tournament.
Yeah.
And you get some sort of in-game currency, which you then spend to unlock items. I'm hoping that like if you buy like a choice band, you get unlimited choice bands and you don't have to like keep taking one off to one Pokemon.
Yeah, that's some wishful thinking. Chris.
Give us something, I think you'll have to unlock things and buy vitamins and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be little bars you can just drag up and down to like
There'll be
change
some
the stats.
form of in-game grinding.
However, I think it'll be like in Go where if you don't have time to grind or you just over it, you can spend money to purchase extra of that in-game currency to then spend. So Go, you earn coins by battling gyms, right? And you leave your Pokemon in gyms, you get 50 coins a day or whatever if it gets knocked out. But you can also just go and buy more coins and spend them. I think it's going to be like that.
And that's what I'm really concerned about happening, but I think you're probably right.
I think that's because then it's like they can say, well, if you don't want to spend money, you can just like farm the currency in game. But it's
I
going to
hope
be.
you don't have a job, fucko, because it's going to be hours a day. If you.
Well, it's like, do they want people to become full-time Pokemon trainers and that's their only job? Because that's what like Wolf Glick and others do.
This is giving the Star Wars
Brent
Battlefront top disliked comment energy, where it's like you just buy the Darth Vader, or you can spend half your life trying to unlock it.
I don't want it to be behind microtransaction paywall because that's, I mean, I know that everyone's like excited for Champions because it's going to change the game forever and they can focus on like, solo player individual side games where you have like your Legends games and then like the main VGC is going to be all on Champions. They don't have to, they can focus more on competitive battling. But like if it's all going to be like, oh fuck, I need to like change my EVs for this Pokemon for tomorrow, like I need to spend like $20, like fuck that.
Exactly.
The worst thing that they will do or have the potential to do with Champions is just put a dollar value on items.
Yeah.
And they 100% are going to do it.
Yeah.
And then somebody's going to buy it and then everything's going to have a dollar value.
Yeah.
Like if they decide that they can charge 50 cents for a choice band and somebody goes, Bajon, I'm going to get it. It's like game over for that because then you have, I don't know, $5 DNA splices and fucking,
it'll be $4.99. It's not $5. $4.99 American.
And then they're like, oh, actually, Assault Vest is a really good item, and that's $7.99.
These are the balance changes they're going to make. Is they're just going to adjust the prices on items.
So fucking funny. Inflation hits the Pokemon item market.
Imagine having to buy like all 100 different Mega Stones.
Okay, hold on. They make it like RuneScape style as a grand exchange. We can like just buy a bunch of items and we can flip them.
I've got a spare choice band. I'll swap you for like, we can have like a marketplace online. We can swap battle items.
They'll really start cracking down on genning if you.
Yeah.
Although you probably wouldn't be able to transfer items between game anyway.
No, because remember, items don't go into
from
home.
So that's the $1 million question. Like if Champions it's got home compatibility, but you can't catch Pokemon in Champions and there's no like game to play in Champions, how do you get all the things? Because you're going to have to get them all from scratch again, which is fucking bullshit. I don't know why home can't be item compatible.
It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
You just get the items in game.
The theory of like the way the infographic looked is that like Champions is just going to look at your home and see what you have in your home and then make it available.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's the theory, is that it's not like transferring, it's like looking and going, you have this, and
You can use it in game.
Yeah.
Okay. That still doesn't solve the item issue, but yeah.
So that's worst case scenario for monetization.
Your worst case scenario is they monetize everything.
Best case, we get funny hats and Hydreigon has 3 little hats.
Yes. Yes, I was about to say best case is no monetization at all, but that's better.
I also worry, like, you've got to pay like a Pokemon Home subscription to have the storage for more than one box, whatever it is. And you've got to pay like a Pokemon Online account. I don't want to also have like a Pokemon Champions annual membership. You know what I mean? It should be part of Pokemon Online.
Maybe.
You shouldn't.
Do you mean the Nintendo Online?
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Cool.
Sorry, but Nintendo Online and a Pokemon Home subscription. Like, we don't want like a third paid subscription that renews every year.
Yeah. The Nintendo Online and Home, I think, are enough together.
Yeah.
I'm kind of inclined to agree, but by the same token, I want to go back to it. It's like I would rather pay some amount of money each year or each month to, incentivize TPCI to focus more on this without the incentive being fucking microtransactions.
Yeah.
And if you want to incentivize us, you can pay us $3 American a month.
Speaking of microtransactions, it's far better than a choice band. It's the bonus content.
Photoshop a funny hat onto your pictures.
If enough people of you incentivize us, we will get naked and make a calendar.
Fact.
Rob, we need a Zempic for that, please.
Yeah, please.
My
Hook me up with some of that Aussie P.
Also,
TRT.
Dr. Chen, please subscribe.
Yeah, my
deals and all that.
GP has promised me a Zembic if I can get under 100.
Really?
But like Gen 2, Gen 3 of a Zembic. It's already
Chris,
going
why
to
can't you
like...
get
Hoenn a Zempic?
I can't remember what it's called. It's like an... Madric or something like this. It's like...
Monjiro?
Monjiro, I think, is the second generation of
Monjiro.
Zembic.
Yes. Yeah.
Chris, why can't you get us a Zempic?
Because I don't have a prescription pad, so I can't prescribe it because I'm a pharmacist. And second of all, our Ozempic, the nurses started stealing it, so now we have to lock it away. It was like we would dispense like a month's supply of Ozempic to a patient on the ward, and then like the next day someone had to reorder it again because it was just an empty box and someone had taken all the pens out.
My God.
And so we're like, wondering who it is, and all the nurses are like all walking around looking really skinny and I'm like, I wonder where this is going. So no, I can't get you Ozempic.
So nurses will risk their registration for a Zembic.
Well, the nurses will do anything. Like they used to steal like painkillers and benzos, but then they all got locked up, and now they've moved on to Ozempic.
That's crazy.
Put that on a fucking poster next to one of the ANF who are currently running for the state government. Nurses will steal anything. Authorized by the state government.
So what do we think the release dates for these games are going to be? I've already said that I don't think we'll get Champions this year at all. Other people thinking it's going to be like post Worlds, bang.
I think you're right, Chris. I think given that they don't have finalized game footage yet, we're not going to get it this year.
Yeah.
ZA confirmed by the end of this year, so everyone's saying late November for the Christmas release.
I've also heard alternative theories that it might have been slightly early. It said fall. It specifically said fall on the Japanese website, which is for us
Spring,
which is September, October, November. Oh, true. Fuck. They got me. Okay, it could be early spring.
It could be October.
Yeah, it could.
But yeah, I think Champions we probably get just before Worlds in 2026.
Yeah.
And like maybe June, July of 2026.
We know that Switch...
Because then there'll be a play lab at Worlds for Champions.
I reckon, that's probably true. I reckon they'll probably give us information about Champions, potentially a release date when they do the announcements. Like once Worlds is done, once they've done the trophy ceremony and everything.
Once that announcement,
once his face comes out and kind of gives us a bunch of really disappointing information.
Worlds will be in America for the next 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. Hooray. No, they're going to announce they're not going to have in-person tournaments anymore. Everything's going to be in Champions, and it's all just going to be online. And it's all best of one closed team sheets.
Kids
Fuck you
on
all.
their phones.
Yeah.
The really cool thing that Champions could give us is give us events.
Girlfriends?
I've got a wife. Events where the money is. Right? So like where there's a high percentage, they'll see it from the metadata, who's playing where.
So what you're saying is they're going to see there's a shit ton of us playing in Perth and they're going to give us O kickback and it's going to be in Bunbury.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, why Bunbury? I mean, let's just... I think Osborne Park is a good place.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Down at the...
there's enough warehouses in Osborne Park. There
is.
The Bunbury Exposition Centre would be pretty cool.
That's not a thing, surely.
I'm pretty sure there is. Or am I thinking of the Albany one? I might be thinking of the Albany one.
Albany O-Kick would be sick.
Yeah.
No one can fly straight there. They have to fly to Perth and then fly there.
And
I think
take
they
a
might
regional
have flights
flight
from
or
South
drive.
Australia, actually.
Yeah, fucking Uluru
Hell yeah.
on top of the rock.
No one's allowed up there.
Actual king of the hill. Let's do it.
Like, are you willing to disrespect the indigenous population for Pokemon?
I don't think you understand what I will do for CP.
Not play the GC though.
I played it.
So yeah, we definitely get Switch 2 out this year, right? That's already been announced.
I think that's confirmed.
I think
Yeah.
it's confirmed, yeah.
So if we get Scarlet Violet for another year, which I think we will, do you does that mean that we can? Because my Switch is like got to the point where it's so old. It's an OG Switch.
yeah.
I can't afford to buy another one and a Switch 2.
Well, that's the thing is like everyone's rocking up to events with battery packs and it's like, hey, does everyone charging? Like, plug it in. All our batteries are fucked. Our Switches are crashing, but no one wants to buy another one because Switch 2 is just around the corner. So our Pell Switches are just kind of like dragging themselves to the finish line on like one limb that's still
So
functioning.
surely we can play Scarlet Violet on Switch 2.
If you got a
it's
digital
going to be backwards
download,
compatible, right?
surely.
They did say it was backwards compatible in their release trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, not the game itself, but there would be games that
Because there's no way I can do a whole other new season of Scarlet Violet on my same Switch, or I'm just going to disconnect every single time.
This thing is going to explode.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Tim and his Switch that crashes and
It dies as soon as it hits 50% battery.
really?
Sometimes mine sounds like it's going to take off down the runway. It just starts making it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, your fan's a bit loose.
That's not the only thing.
oh,
Ooh.
tighten my heatsink.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I wish I could just. We never had a season this long before. Can we just fucking get some information?
Yeah, I want to
Pokemon?
cash out my store credit. Let me buy the Switch.
Let me
with
buy
it.
the Switch. Yeah.
I've heard some people theorizing. I don't know if you guys have any opinions on this about.
I always have opinions.
Okay. Well, we'll get Chris's first. About the idea that mainline games are going to somewhat become a thing of the past and they're going to give us champions and that's going to be where the VGC is. And then they're just going to keep giving us games like ZA and other things like that. I don't think that's true at all. I think they're never like the mainline games are a fucking money printer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to go Gen 10, Gen 11, Gen 12. I think they're going to keep doing that. They might change the game format somewhat
Yeah.
in a way that they already kind of have. Because they don't have to keep battles in game the same if they have champions, and if champions is going to be the where the competitive happens, and that's a big if.
Yeah. If champions is VGC,
Yeah.
it'll change.
Yeah,
In,
so-
in what capacity, I don't know. But if champions is VGC light,
Yeah.
not a chance.
No, of course.
Yeah.
But like how the Legends games have different battle formats, right?
Yeah.
But even in the mainline games, they've changed. It used to be, you walk through tall grass and randomly encounter Pokemon. Now the Pokemon all disappear in the overworld and you encounter them if you wish.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
like
run
they-
into them, yeah.
They've changed so much. It used to be like the games are super linear. You had to go you have to go to this gym, but first to go to that gym, you got to bribe this fucking bridge guard with some tea. Like all that kind of very specific, almost Metroidvania style story progression.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of open world, have fun, don't go over there. They're level 60, right?
Yeah. And you do a sigh and you somehow break the game and end up in like the final area before
The
you
game breaks itself. But essentially what I'm saying is they've already been changing the format of how the games operate. I would not think it would be a big leap for them to change how in-game battles operate as well, especially because I've kind of done that with the Legends games. And even in the mainline games have changed how they operate so much.
Yeah.
But
true.
that being said, I think they're still going to keep giving us mainline games. If nothing else, they want to just keep introducing new Pokemon.
Well, they'll just keep making remakes as well. Like
Remakes as well, sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like they want to keep introducing new
Yes.
Pokemon. They want to give us new mainline games with a whole bunch of here's 150 or 100 new Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because that's just so much more merch.
four of them are competitively viable.
That was not true for Skyline and Violet. They gave us so many competitively viable.
Scabby was definitely the pivot into making competitive
The
models.
DLC having double trainer battles, I think, was the dead obvious thing as well.
They're just they give a shit about VGC.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. And I hope that continues.
Yep.
I hope they don't continue to quite the same extent. I think some of the Paradox mons were
They're so
too
overtuned.
optimized.
Yeah.
Overtuned, exactly.
Fucking Iron Hands.
Iron Hands, Flutter Mane.
Raging Bolt can fuck off.
Fuck, I hate Raging
Rage
Bolt.
Bolt can fuck off.
Especially in what, Reg F? That thing was a fucking menace.
Oh, it was fucked in Reg F. I don't know why I kept running Iron Bundle. There's a reason I was on Iron Bundle Stronger Soldiers, because no one else was stupid enough to run it when Thunderclap existed.
Don't let the flame die out.
I didn't. I might start cooking with it again. I'm so pissed with my current team after the GC. I'm considering scrapping the whole thing.
Pog.
Yeah.
Commit.
Should do it a week before Brisbane.
2 nights before Brisbane, I'll do it in the hotel room.
Speaking of Brisbane, I think we have 3 members of the panel going.
That's
Dan,
true.
Mark, and Ethan. And we now formally have our interview kit for Brisbane.
We have a portable microphone.
Chris, if you organise a cardboard cutout of yourself, I will bring it to the Brisbane regs.
I don't even know how to organise a cardboard cutout.
Google it. Time.
You go to a sign printer, probably. Sign maker.
I'm going to be in Melbourne. Can I just save my debut with like?
But we could have like all of us with the 2 cardboard cutouts of you 2 doing interviews.
Yeah, same deal, Joel. If you get a cardboard cutout, we'll take it.
Just put it up somewhere.
Yeah.
I wish I could. I'm going to be in Japan buying. If you're a subscriber to the O2 drop, I will be taking merch.
You're going to be muling merch back.
Muling merch back for O2's drop subscribers only. So
don't let me forget to look to that.
there'll be a warning.
Yeah,
Just post it. It'll be cheaper than paying for the extra baggage.
Maybe. So I don't know. We'll see how many orders I get first.
I want to put our creamy order in right now.
Ooh.
I want to say that
I would love a
Anything.
Torterra. Holy fuck, the Torterra.
I-
is
Oh,
so
that Torterra
cool.
plush looks so
That was
cool.
really cool.
Take it. Slide into my DMs. Give me a list.
I don't know if anyone remembers there was a promo or like an ad for these 2 new I think they were plastic figures, and they were like you kind of interact with them for Iron Bundle and Iron Moth.
Yeah.
Those looked so cool.
What happened to those?
I think they were only ever like a Japanese release.
Okay.
Oh, well,
So if those are a thing
I'll
over
have
there,
a look. I'll have a look.
That was sick. It was like a 1:16 scale replica or something.
yeah,
Iron Bundle.
and they were like interactable, so you could kind of move and I think the Iron Moth wings came in and out.
You could pull Bundle's sack around, couldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. And I think its head came off and on
So
the
the
springs.
sounded so wrong. Speaking of
Pull my sack around, Daddy.
Speaking of pulling your sack and also Pokemon merch,
Yeah.
on Twitter, the user is King Drek One Out. I don't know how you say King Drek One Out. That's the how you spelled it anyway.
Right.
But he went to the card shop and they had the 4 horsemen of the sus Pokemon.
Oh God.
And I was like, hey, what's the 4 horsemen of the sus Pokemon? I looked at it. It's Lopunny, Vaporeon, Gardevoir, and Goodra.
What?
And I was like, what?
It's sus that you think that those are sus.
So me and many other people commented, like, what did Goodra do wrong?
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, go ahead and Google Goodra art. So I did. And it's not as bad as I thought, but I'm just shocked at how many people have feminized and sexualized Goodra in their fan art.
Is that because it's all
Wild.
drippy?
It's drippy. Yeah, it's drippy and it's got a big booty.
It's drippy.
It's got like
It's
a
drippy.
one of those big thick set
around.
booties. So yeah, apparently Goodra. It wouldn't have been my pick for the 4th.
No, my pick would have been Serena probably.
Yeah, she's a bit of a slut.
Maybe Lucario.
Isn't it? Yeah, people when they had that full Lucario size blush that they did sexualize that.
Yeah,
I know you don't see it.
What? Show us the Goodra pic.
What the?
Jesus Christ!
Don't Google Goodra fan art.
What did you Google for this?
Guess.
Goodra fan
Just
art.
Goodra Rule 34?
Yes.
Oh my God, look at the one down the bottom.
Jesus Christ. Someone burying their face in a Goodra's asshole.
I mean, I guess it does self-lubricate quite visibly.
Very slippy.
I'm not a fan personally.
I'm sure we could definitely do the Rule 34 for Goodra instead. Like, it gets acid armor.
Does.
Um,
Can't get pregnant
Life due.
if it's got
yeah,
acid armor.
yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. It's got gooey, which is similar to whatever they say the Vaporeon one has. That means you can go for ages without getting sore.
Oh, hydration.
Yeah.
Really? This is bottom cut content.
Yeah.
guys. Honestly.
Does Scrooge get sticky hold?
Oh, for God's sake.
I think it might actually, yeah.
Gross.
Firmly grasp it.
Does he get gunk shot?
It does.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure it does. It got sludge bomb.
For our top list of Rule 34 mons, subscribe to the bottom card.
We should surely do a top 10 Rule 34.
We should.
On the bottom card.
Yeah,
we say that all
let's
the
change
things.
our top 10
shiny.
submissions to top 10 smashable mods.
Okay, it won't be this week though.
No.
But no, thank you very much to all of our listeners. Thank you for joining the O2 drop as always. To our West Australian listeners, when this episode drops, we'll be 2 days away from our state election. Be the change that you want. Remember that we have a preferential voting system
Yeah.
in this country, and that
No such thing as a wasted vote.
no such thing as a wasted
Unless
vote.
you fuck up your ballot and it doesn't get counted.
Yeah.
Don't just draw a dick on it.
If you want people to be more left-wing, vote for the left-wing parties, and by the time it gets back to Labor, they'll understand that people want them to be more left-wing. And if you want to ruin the country, vote for One Nation.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Is if you want things to be more left-wing, vote for left-wing parties, and then the major parties will see that that's how people want to vote. If you want things to be more right-wing, maybe don't go into a polling booth next Saturday.
Yeah. Yep. That the O2 drop supports this message.
Vote whatever party's got a good plan for cost of living, which I don't know if there's any of them, to be honest.
I think. Yeah.
I won't soapbox on this podcast, but if you live in WA and you want to have a chat about it, message me or come chat at some point.
Yeah, slide
Awesome.
into our DMs. Tell us about which Pokemon you'd put in the 4 horsemen of sus Pokemon. And also if you want to discuss
That's the real
politics.
political conversation we should be having.
Also don't forget my Twitter campaign, hashtag Melbourne gets Moxie boosted and hashtag Marcos goes down under. Trying to get Moxie boosted to Melbourne.
I mean, he
regionals.
seems pretty keen. He's
It's a lot of money and time.
God, I
He's
hope he
sharing
comes.
all of the posts. He's basically like, if you guys want me to go.
If you have more Photoshop ideas, please let me know as well. I'm running out of ideas.
Scoot Easy messaged me and he was like, oh yeah, like tell him I've got a spare room. I'll kick the wife out and he and I can share a bed. So the wife got the spare bed and Scoot Easy and Moxie. I was like, I don't know if he swings that way. It might be better off like, him in the spare bed. But, shoot your shot. Might as well.
Kobe. But no, thank you as always, listeners. We've already shouted out the way to support this podcast through bonus content.
Microtransactions.
Microtransactions are the way because many hands make many dollars.
Does subscription count as microtransactions?
Probably.
I feel like microtransactions have a fairly specific definition.
Yeah, I think it's more of a meme.
We should launch
Yeah.
an NFT.
Yes.
Oh, God. Can we do shirts before we do NFTs?
Yes.
Please. Until next time, friends.
O2 drop coin.